are having the most fabulous weekend. Welcome back to Crafters TV. It's a really awesome day we've got lined up for you today because, of course, you are joining us for our launch day show, which is awesome. That means we're going to showcase something that you've never seen before here on Crafters TV, which is absolutely fantastic. It's been very, very busy. Lots of you already shopping ahead. Get yourself over to the website crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu, where you can watch and shop at the same time. And now, before I share with you what we'll be launching today, I want to share with you who I'm launching it with. Craig is here. How are you, Craig?
Good afternoon, Joe, or good morning stateside. If you are watching us, it's great to be here on this Saturday. Bit of a cold, kind of dull kind of Saturday, so I thought we'll brighten it up with my nice kind of orangey, salmony pink shirt, you know, something like that. So yeah, so it is. We've got launch day as well, and this is two of the things that you love, whether it's stamping with backgrounds and die cutting with backgrounds, and we're merging them together. Let's show you a couple of things. So the idea is to stamp and cut. You can of course colour, but then why not make gift boxes with them as well? It's all about scenes. You could be building your scenes on top of each other if you want. Go large if you want, because you do have sentiments too, but then bring in your concept. So whether it's shakers, whether it's easels, side steppers, all these different styles of cards you can be doing. Of course, you can be using your aqua pens, your aqua pencils, classic tri-blades, but throughout the show, we're going to be using our aqua pens. We're going to show you different techniques as to how you can colour them and then cut them.
It's going to be an awesome show, and you can get involved as well. Come and join the conversation over on Facebook. You can find me on the Crafters TV Facebook live feed, or across on our YouTube channel as well. I know some of you may have got your hands on these when they launched over on HSN as well. If you've got yours already, you've been creating some wonderful things with them, send me some pictures. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk is where you need to send those pictures into. Right, let's get our teeth into it. Let's share with you exactly what we are launching today. So it's the Creator Card Die and Stamp collection. Now, what it's doing is teaming together our awesome creator cards, and the creator card dies are fantastic because what they enable you to do is really cut a whole panel at once. If you're creating a topper for a card project, it means that it's pretty much all done. But then what we've done is also laid together with that our awesome stamps as well. So what you're going to get is both the stamp and you're going to get the die in here as well. And the price is still fantastic. This one's like me, apparently, according to my producer Erin, a natural beauty. I'll take that, I will. So you're going to get that one in there. Craig is giving me an ominous look, contesting that fact, I reckon. This one that we've got here, this is Craig, Wild and Free, which is that one there. So you can see you've got all these gorgeous stags in here with that beautiful woodland theme as well, which is really, really lovely. The next one I've got here is Scenic Village. Really, really gorgeous. Very English countryside this, isn't it? Which I think is beautiful. I mean, you could turn that into a little river, maybe, rather than a street running down the middle of there. That might look beautiful as well. You get all of these for that price you can see there as well. We've got, oh, not any old church. Oh, no. It's charming, this church, absolutely. Well, that's charming, isn't it? You can see this. So you're going to get the church. You've got that beautiful the trees in there as well. You can, of course, if you wanted to, use the dies alone without the stamps, or the stamps alone without the dies. There's absolutely nothing to stop you doing that. The next one we've got here is the flowers and vines, as you can see. This is a really, really gorgeous frame. I think this is one that you'll get an awful lot of use out, this one. And the Schmetterlings, which is, of course, your butterfly frame as well. Very popular individually, the butterfly one just there. If you want to go for them, you can do so. £77 or $98. That's a saving of $30.94 or $21.70. However, if you are a Club Inspire Platinum member, you can get this today for £61.60 or $78.40, which is awesome. That means Club Inspire Platinum members are saving £46 or $41, which is really, really awesome value for money. There's loads of, there's also a multi-buy on them as well. If you want to get any two of them, you can. £30 or $35 if you wanted to just grab a couple. So it's completely up to you. However you want to get hold of them, please do. 10% of the stock has already gone just on the pre-sale alone. So it is going to be very, very busy for these today. Loads of you chatting away with me already. I can see Diana in Indiana is in the building. Susan's here from Redondo, California. Jill, it's not Lidge, is it? It's Jill. We worked this out last week, Jill. I am sorry, from North Yorkshire. Susan says, Susan says she loves your persimmon coloured shirt, Craig. Persimmon.
Yes, new one.
I don't know what a persimmon is.
I don't know either.
Is it some sort of fruit? Is it some sort of pear? I don't know why I think it's maybe a pear. Les has just finished baking pies and cakes in time to relax and watch the show. Sounds delicious. And Christine says, Craig, you are wearing my favourite colour. Right, make sure you come and join me over on Facebook or across on YouTube as well. It is a fruit, apparently. What sort of fruit is it, Producer Laura? Director Laura, even. It's an Asian or Japanese fruit. I've always thought Craig was a bit of a fruit myself. Hey! Right, Craig. These are awesome, aren't they? I love the versatility with these, but they make something really quite big and bold, which is interesting.
They do, absolutely. And because they're create a card, what we're going to do is let's actually just show you, bringing this one in. So this is the actual die. So actually, let's go straight into the stamp first, just so you give you the idea. So this is the stamp just here. So we're going to be stamping that one out, and that gives you that full design. Now, absolutely use that just on its own if you want. However, what we have done is we have given you the coordinated die. So that's going to die cut all the detail, the aperture within the middle. However, what you're going to notice, and it's very familiar with all our other dies that are creator cards, you cannot get the outside edge. And when I say you cannot get it, it just means that it cannot die cut all the way around, which means you can do your different sizes. So throughout the show, what we're going to do is we're going to kickstart it with a relatively simple card, show you how you can actually use them, create a card and do a bit of colouring. Throughout the show, what we'll do is we'll bring in a bit of box making and we'll do a few other things as well. So what I've just done to start with is I've just got my card blank, 5x7. I've made my card blank out of our watercolour card that we've got on the show as well. And then all that I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring in my large Gemini. Now, because throughout the show I'm going to be doing bigger projects, I'm just going to use my large Gemini throughout. However, if you were to use the die and stamp on their own, you know, they will obviously fit the Gemini Junior or the Gemini Midi. So what we're going to do just to start with is you can then stamp and cut, or you can cut and stamp. It's entirely up to you. So what we'll do is let's start this one by stamping first, then we'll cut it later on, and then it just later on we can show you how to do the reverse as well. So just what you might be familiar when it comes to our stamps, we're just taking it right off. We're going to just peel that right off, and then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring in my 6x6 stamping platform. So you could be using the 8x8, you know, you could be using any of the other ones that you've got at home. So stamping that out, and I'm also just going to bring in my stamping mat too.
Do you think it's fair to say that you'd use these stamps away from these dies as well, Craig?
Oh, 100%. 100%. You can use the dies on their own if you like to do your own artwork, if you want to draw in your own designs, you absolutely can. However, you 100% will be using this stamp on its own, and you'll see why in a moment. Now, because I'm going to be using our aqua pens, we're going to need our waterproof dye. So we've got the flagstone and we've also got the rustic brown on the show. If you've got black at home, you can use that. But when it comes to watercolouring, you'll tend to find that I don't actually use black a lot. I like to have a bit more of a subtle depth of colour, so I'll use the flagstone. Or of course, if you're going countryside, nature, I'll bring in the rustic brown. So just stamping that one out, so just giving that a good coverage, and then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our card blank once again. So we're just going to pop that onto our base. We're going to bring in our stamping platform. I'm just going to make sure that my cardstock is nicely folded out and it is straight. And then all that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to position that where I so wish it to be. So I'm not going to stick my head right in the way, but I'm just having a look just to try and line that one up. And then what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to press. Now that I have got that in the right place, exactly where I want it to go, we're just going to stamp that. So I'm just pressing all that detail all the way round. So if we then just hold and keep going and keep going and keep going, and then we're going to then just release that one. Now you can see already from up above, we have got all that detail all the way. I'm going to tip it because this area looks as though I've kind of missed a bit. I've not. It's all within the design. So straight away, this is what you were on about, Joe. Leave it like that. Use the stamp on its own if you want to. It's up to yourself.
I bet that would look lovely heat embossed as well, that stamp.
It would, yeah. Funny you saying that. Stay tuned.
Oh.
Let me do a bit of heat embossing. So what I'm going to do then with this one is, at this point you can of course colour it, then cut it. But what I'm going to do is, let's just cut it straight away and then we'll do a bit of colouring. So all that I'm going to do when it comes to your creator card, I'm just going to position that over the top. Now it's symmetrical in some areas, but obviously on this area we've maybe just got the one flower, this area we've got a few, and it kind of matches. You can kind of tell when it comes to your die. Also, when you have a look through, so I know that I've got this the right way, because in between all these little pieces, so all this area is what's going to die cut, I see none of my black lines, or I say my black, it is my flagstone. If I was to move that, I'm not sure if you can quite see how we're catching the actual grey lines there? So all that I'm just doing is I'm just slowly, just manoeuvring it, just until I know I've got that in the right place. In other words, I don't see any of my stamped lines underneath. And then all that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to secure it just with our low tack tape, and then we're just going to run it through our Gemini.
Are these acrylic or photopolymer, these stamps, you know, Craig?
These ones are the acrylic, I believe.
Okie doke.
I'm going to double check that one afterwards.
Okie doke. Getting really busy on these already. £77.98. Some of you are having some issues finding these on the homepage of the website. Make a note of the code on the top left corner of your screen there, and also try logging in as well. If you're logged in to your Club Inspire account, you'll definitely be able to see them, but some of you are having problems finding them when you're not logged in. So definitely log in, and I would say maybe make a note of this little number just here, that code, and that will take you straight to it once you're logged in.
Right, so now we have run that one through our Gemini. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to slowly just start to release this one off. So we're just peeling that one off, slowly taking it away. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my poke tool. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to turn it around, because sometimes it's easier by looking on the other way. We're just going to poke all these little bits out. If you have your die tool, your die release tool, you can of course use that one. And then that takes out all these tiny little bits. So we're just going to keep on going, and we're going to keep on going and keep on going until a lot of these tiny little bits have come out. So any last remaining wee bits, just poke them out that we can see just there. And then taking that one, and then here we go. So if I move that one out the way.
What sort of cardstock are you using here, Craig?
So for this one, the full card blank I've made out of our watercolour cards, simply because we're going to come on with our aqua pens in a moment. But you can, of course, if you're using your tri-blends or your classics, anything alcohol based, you can use our Nina or our smooth cardstock, no problem at all.
Awesome. Gilmore lets me know that a persimmon is a yummy fruit and almost looks like a tomato, Craig. Okay. So you're like a happy little tomato here in the studio today.
I've been called worse. I don't mind being called little tomato. It was tomato, you said, wasn't
tomato,
it?
Yeah.
You know when you just have that split second, you think, did they actually say tomato? I did.
What is your favourite fruit, Craig?
Favourite fruit. Oh, strawberries or watermelon. Or
Laura in the gallery loves a good fig, apparently. Your strawberries or watermelon, Craig?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say strawberries
Mine's a
or
banana,
watermelon.
I think. It's the only fruit actually. It's not even really like real fruit. It is to the fruit world what the potato is to the vegetable world, the banana, isn't it?
True, very true. Yeah.
What's your favourite fruit? Let me know in the comments.
We've got to be interesting actually to see that.
I know. I do love a grape actually. I do like some grapes.
Yeah, actually,
I like
grapes.
the high. See, I like the sugary fruits. Not like the low sugar fruits like apple and stuff like that.
Apples. Yeah, I do like apples as well. But then obviously you guys stateside have a few different fruits that we don't necessarily either get here or in fact, some that are harder to get just here. Star fruit, for instance, we've got Erin and Laura in the gallery. Which, by the way, if you've seen my Insta story the other day, get your birthday wishes into Laura because it was her birthday yesterday.
Yes,
although I did give you a heads up on Insta yesterday.
Happy belated birthday to Laura for yesterday. How many years young was it, Laura? 28. young whippersnapper, our Laura.
Yeah,
She
absolutely.
looks fabulous. So yes, happy birthday to yesterday for Laura.
I don't think anyone's counting this year, Laura, when it comes to our birthday and age.
But you know, like we're saying, weren't we, Craig, that, you know, we're just going to sell it, or we'll just postpone things. We're just going to have to cancel them now because we've nearly gone round again. We'll be getting 2 lots soon. So yeah, we've cancelled it. I cancelled my birthday. Your birthday was recently, Craig, wasn't it?
21st of June, right in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
So if there's any time to have a birthday, any good time of the year, it's then bang centre in the middle of the year.
Anne says tinned prunes are her favourite. Gosh, I can't imagine. Help me, Craig.
No, don't come back to me yet. Don't just watch me colour for a moment.
Linda with a Y says pink lady apples as well. I'm really sorry, Anne. I don't know why that has tickled me quite so much.
Was that a snort?
Yeah. Really busy. Linda's is pink lady apples. I do love a pink lady apple. If I'm going to have an apple. No, do you know what my favourite fruit is? How can I forget? It's an avocado. Of course it is. See, an avocado is a fruit, isn't it? You always think it's a vegetable. Tomato's a fruit as well. There's a school day here at Crafters TV.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people think it's a veg, but it's a fruit. So did I just say something there?
No, you didn't. I just love it. It was just very succinct, which I love, Craig. Crafting with Stacey says cotton candy grapes. Now, I've got a problem. I've got a problem with cotton candy. So they say that there's these grapes that you can buy in the supermarket, and they're called candy floss grapes or cotton candy grapes. They're just basically grapes that are super sweet, but they don't taste like candy floss. I'm sorry, they still taste like grapes. Sweet grapes, delicious grapes. But yeah, in this country we call cotton candy floss is what we call it. Mary loves a raspberry. Rose, she likes strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. You get the idea. Any kind of berry. Yeah, berries in the summer, Craig. Oh, delicious, aren't they? You buy them on the side of the road around here, which is always absolutely yummo. Erin's really confused by the fact that you buy vegetables on the side of the road. Yeah,
I'm confused that you're buying vegetables on the side of the road.
You do. So, like around here at in the UK at harvest time, you'll be driving down an A road and it says cherries 400 yards, and you just stop and buy some cherries like in the side of a road. Yeah.
I've seen it advertised for eggs. You can pick up eggs or honey or something like that. Yeah.
Somewhere near Durham, there's an egg vending machine. Yeah, so basically there's this woman that has loads of chickens and therefore has lots of eggs, and rather than just leave them on the road, they're like in a thing. You put your money in and then you open the door and you get your eggs out. Yeah, how strange is that?
I'll give you another one. And I don't know if it's still there because it's been a while since I've been in Dundee, but in Dundee in our big shopping centre, the Overgate, we've got a big vending machine there that's got loads of different types of potatoes in it.
Loads of different potato vending machine?
Yep.
Sounds like my kind of vending machine. And then in Holland they have this chain of restaurants. I don't know if you've seen those, Craig. They're called Fibo, and they are basically vending machine restaurants. And they're just a wall of these little doors, and you put your change in and you open it up and there's like a delicious hamburger inside or some crickets or some fries or something.
In other words, it's called Joe's living room.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine if you had that in your living room? It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
So good, wouldn't it?
Does a chocolate apple or a toffee apple count? Asked Vicky. I don't think so, Vicky. Sorry, I don't think it does. If you want those aqua markers that Craig's using as well, I'm going to share those with you in a moment. They are available right now over on the website, so make sure you get yourself over there. How big are these dies? That was my next question. 6x4. I've answered my own question there. So they really are a nice big substantial size. I would say if you're batch making, Craig, these are going to be quite an easy one, aren't they?
They are, and if you want to make them even easier, then absolutely use your aqua pens, or you could be using your aqua pencils, because as you'll have just been watching me there, I was doing nothing specific other than I've just been adding some colour just in small areas of either the flower. I've now moved on to the leaves or the petals, and what I'm doing is I'm just dragging the colour out. So what I'm going to do is on this one here, I've just popped some of the green. So this green is the bud green from the floral collection, and I also used the heather from also the floral collection. So it's just the case of popping a bit of colour onto your cardstock. Again, this is watercolour card. And then I'm actually just going to move on to the nature colour or nature set, and I'm going to bring in the seal green. I want a bit of a different depth for the green, so we're just going to bring it in. So you've got your brush nib at one end, and it's a real nice flexible brush, but you've got this really fine tip right at the other end, both of which are water based. So you're just going to go in, and we can see I've just added a tiny little bit of colour, and then I'm just going to then just pull that one out. So we're just going to move, so I've done that bit just into here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to then just pull in the colour out. So I'm just adding that bit of colour into the base of the leaves, and it's, I don't know if I could quite say, all that I'm doing is basically squiggling. That's all that I'm doing, Joe, is just squiggling a bit of colour. And then this is just one of our paint brushes, and it's just water. You could be using your water brush, your water brush, sorry. You could be using your water brush, of course your paintbrush like I'm using, or if you've got your clear overlay, your sparkle pens, they work really well, exactly the same as a water brush, except you get that incredible sparkle on it as well. So I'm just going to do just a little bit more, and then we're going to then just bring in one that was actually, I actually completed yesterday. If you've seen my Insta story, you'll seen a few bits and pieces that I was doing. So this is where, again, we're just pulling the colour out, and then just have a wee look at the different colours that you've got within your set. So if I go back to the floral, let's bring in a bit of sunflower, because we've got all these whiffs, all these waves, all these different accents that are in throughout the actual die. And keep in mind, you know, they're all die cut because we've cut them out.
You're using aqua markers here then, Craig. What else could we be using that we might already have at home if we didn't have aqua markers?
So if you're going to be using your watercolour card, the best ones to use is, of course, yes, your aqua markers. You can be using your aqua pencils. You could be using your sparkle pens. What about your sparkle pots? Of course, your sparkle pots, you would need like a water brush or a paintbrush as well. So that's the sort of things that you could be using when it comes to your watercolour card. If you are wanting to use your classic pens, your tri-blend pens, illustrator pens, you could be using all of these ones, and then I would then suggest just use your Nina cardstock, and then you could colour onto them once.
Awesome. So yeah, lots of options there for stuff that I know a lot of you will already own. Lots of you in the US pointing out that you've got roadside farm stands throughout the US to buy fresh produce. I think that is awesome. I think we should have more of that, you know.
I do,
like,
yeah.
Especially, like, not just in the summer, not for those few weeks in the summer. Like, if you could buy, like, gorgeous local cheeses and meats and stuff, you know, from local producers on the side of the road. I think it'd be awesome. But we do have lots of farmers markets, which are quite nice. Susan says, here in Century City, California, there was a caviar vending machine. Shut the front door.
Nice.
What sort of posh area do you live in, Susan? Century City sounds very posh, doesn't it? Welcome to Century City.
It does.
It just sounds, yeah, I imagine, the streets are paved with gold in Century City, you know. Judy Wester says, I've been waiting for these, so of course I've just ordered them. Let me know if you've got them. Have you ordered them? Did you get them today? Have you got them on HSN? Have you been making things with them? If you have made stuff with them, then please pop us a picture, because we love seeing what you've been making. A studio at craftscompanion.co.uk is where you need to send those into. Do you want the good news or the bad news, Craig?
Oh, hit me with the bad news first.
Bad news is, if you don't enjoy my shows, I am here for 5 whole days with you, Craig. 5 whole days. Do you want the good news?
Yeah, please.
If you love my shows, I'm here for 5 whole days with you. Yeah, it is going to be a really fun weekend. And then next week, we're going to be going into something very exciting. Black Friday, of course, next week. All that fun kicks off on Tuesday. That looks beautiful, Craig.
So I'm not going to carry on. Actually, there's not a lot more to do now, but it's just to show you how fun and how at ease you can use your aqua pencils. What I'm going to do is in a moment as well. You may have just caught me using my glass mat as a bit of a palette. I'm not going to go into too much detail because we're going to be doing that again in the next demo where I'll focus on that one. So again, you would just carry on and just colour in all the additional different bits. So if I bring this one in, and it's exactly the same idea as what I've done, I did spend a little bit more time just adding a bit more depth of colour into the middle. And then all that I've just done, again, just with a little bit of mats and layers. So this is just using one of our water reactive ink pads, just done a bit of blending on the back. So then I'm just going to bring in my tape runner. We're going to pop that one into the middle. And then what we can even do is we can then just bring in one of the sentiments that you also get with on the stamp sheet. So if I bring this one in, so in here we have got for a special friend, or we've got thank you. So I'm just going to take this one off, and then what I'm also just going to do is bring in my stamping platform once again. And let's just pop our sentiment on, and just because I've got it here to hand, I'm just going to still use the flagstone, and that'll still just work in conjunction with the stamped image that I've done. Now you can have the luxury on this one of either just stamping straight into the middle, or if you don't want to do your guesswork, just close it. All that I'm just doing is flattening my card, just making sure that I've got that nice central part. And then I'm just going to just hold that down, and then once I'm happy, I'm just going to press that so that it goes into the middle. And then that way I know I've got my sentiment bang centre in the middle of my aperture. We've got to, for a special friend, into the middle. You can still write your sentiment just there, but then there we go. That is the whole basis concept of the stamping dies that you can see just there.
How beautiful. And I know Craig's going to obviously show us lots of different ways to use this as we go through the show as well, but in its simplest form, really easy to put together something really awesome. Now let me run you through what you're going to get included. Remember, this is the launch day here on Crafters TV, so you haven't seen them before. But if some of you were struggling to find these on our website, all of those problems are totally fixed now, thanks to the web team sorted that out. So let me just run through again what you're getting. You're getting Natural Beauty, which is this one just here, which is a gorgeous woodland scene. We've also got Wild and Free, which is this one just here with those gorgeous stags. We have Scenic Village for you as well, which is this. There we go. No, is that way? Now, oh, it's going to be one of those days, Craig. We've also got for you. I need that knock the display over as well. We've also got Charming Church for you. As well, and remember, on those stamps you're also getting some sentiments in there as well, so it's going to add all the detail to the die cut element, but it's also going to enable you to complete a full project, which is awesome. We've then got this gorgeous one here, which is your flowers and vines, which you've just seen Craig getting creative with, an awesome one to create as a frame. It's great that you've got the lovely aperture in the middle of there as well, and I think your most popular individually is this one, which is the butterfly frame. Now what I love about this one is that what you're able to do is actually get more dimension here on these wings. These wings have been the die has been designed to enable you to get that dimension there on those, which is awesome. Think about, could we use these as well, Craig, with these dies, things like vellum and acetate and stuff like that, if we wanted to? Absolutely. Yeah. So anything and everything that you already know you can stamp onto it with these, and then of course you can die cut it with these. Awesome. Right, we've got a fantastic deal for you on our aqua pens as well. You're going to get 4 collections in here, which is awesome. So this one here is your essentials. That's got peach, lime, spice, olive, terracotta, moss, tan, slate, chocolate, charcoal, sepia and black. You've then got the floral, which has got begonia, rose pink, blossom, marigold, jasmine, sunflower, meadow, bud green, leaf green, orchid, heather and wildflower. You've then got nature, and this one has got sunset, amber, chestnut, fawn, desert, topaz, evergreen, sea green, kingfisher, peacock blue, marine and boulder. I knew the colour was desert, but I wanted to say dessert so bad, I don't know why. The next one we've got is the primary, and in here you're going to get scarlet, crimson, burgundy, orange, gold, yellow, aquamarine, teal, navy, purple, magenta and the red violet as well. Great price on these. Everyone's saving $31.96 or $39.80. Club Inspire Platinum members, you'll be able to get another £12 or $16 off of that, on top of that saving as well, which is awesome. If you are going for the pens, you may well need somewhere to store them. And definitely grab them now whilst they're on a half price deal, which is brilliant. £9.99 or £12.47 to get you 6 trays here, and that will be enough to store 72 markers. So definitely enough there to get you going, which is absolutely fantastic. So make sure you grab hold of those. Very busy on our brand new launch, of course. It is our Creator Card die and stamp collection. £77 if you're in the UK, $98 if you're in the US. That comes down to $61.60 in the UK or $78.40 in dollars if you're a Club Inspire Platinum member. Remember what you're getting in here. You are getting those gorgeous stamps with the corresponding Creator Card die that goes with that. I think it's lovely that you get the stamped imagery as well, because it's going to give you something else to colour in. I think, and if you love colouring, so many of you have rediscovered colouring maybe this year since we had a bit of time on our hands. These are awesome because sometimes it's lovely colouring, but sometimes you want to colour for something. These enable you to showcase that colouring in a project, which I think is absolutely awesome. Shadiah says, Joe, your Black Friday photo show is the bomb. Just saying. Thanks, Shadiah. It was a black suit, which obviously always helps, doesn't it? And there were some very good angles, and I covered myself up with some bags. It was very slimming. Cheryl says, perfect, 5 days with Joe. Woohoo! Teresa says, 5 days of Joe means 5 days of fun. I like to think so too. I'll do my best. And Abby says, well, my pens have just arrived in the middle of the demonstration. We'll crack them out and get colouring, Abby, is what I would say. Right, Craig, which one would you like to take us through next?
So we're going to go with the natural beauty for this one here. And what we're going to do is, you could make it into a card. We're going to make it as kind of like a bit of a gift. I know you guys stateside have got Thanksgiving coming up, but of course it could be for going into New Year, you know, certainly in Scotland. I know we won't be really going to many people's houses on the 1st, but it's all about first foot in over the threshold of the house, you give them a gift. So I thought what we'll do is, if we bring this stamp set in, and we're going to do, again, stamping, colouring and cutting, but this time what I'm really going to show you when it comes to colouring, if you really are not either good at colouring, if you feel you just cannot get your confidence level up, I'm going to show you a really quick but effective way to do some colouring using your aqua pens. So what I'm just doing with this one, again, just popping it onto my stamping platform. Still going to use the flagstone for this one here, and then we're just going to pop the colour on top. So we're just stamping, we're getting a good coverage. Equally, if you have any of the larger rocker blocks, that would work with them, Joe, as well. But of course, it'll work with this one and the 8x8 stamping platform. Giving that a good coverage, bringing in my stamping mat, and then I'm just going to pop my finger in there. So let's just pop a bit more colour there. Now I'm still using our watercolour because it's still the aqua pens. It's still the watercolour card we're using. So again, I'm just going to, nowhere specific on this card because I'm going to be cutting it down just shortly. So I'm just going to just stamp. So we're just pressing, and I'm just wanting to make sure that I get a good coverage of the design. Just using my fingers, always keeping like one hand still at each time, and then just pressing all the way around. So when I've kind of done this side, I'm kind of swapping my hands. This one's staying in place just to hold it in place. Of course, if you've got the large 8x8 stamping platform with the magnetic discs, you don't really need to worry about that, but it's just a nice little tip.
Will this work if we've got like a hinged stamping platform? I know we don't bring you one here, Craig, but I know a lot of our crafters out there might have them already. Will these stamps work with that kind of system?
Any of our stamps that we do at Crafters Companion will work with any of your hinged stamping platform or presses, so absolutely you can do. So then what we're going to do is, again, I'm just going to bring in some water and one of our paint brushes. So I'm bringing in my aqua pens again, so I'm going to go for the Essentials, and then I'm also going to go for the Nature. So what we can then do is, let's go for the Nature and let's bring in the Kingfisher. So we're going to bring in the Kingfisher here, and then let's go into the Essentials and let's use the Chocolate. And then let's also, while we're in the essentials, let's use the slate, which is a bit of a grey. Now at this point, I'm going to do the colouring first, because what I want is a rustic kind of feel to it. It'll become clear as we go on. So there is areas that I am going to colour, but then what will happen afterwards is we will die cut it out. But if you get like a little white edge remaining, because we've already gone over the colour first, it kind of eliminates that. However, you know, if you are still unsure of exactly what I mean, it will become clear. So what I'm just going to do is, let's start with let's go for the chocolate, and then I'm just going to go into the large brush. Now, I'm going to use our glass mat as our kind of like palette, or what you can also do, if you've got any of our Spectrum Noir white-proof, heat-proof mats, you can also be using them. So this is where all that I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a bit of a scribble. So scribbling with the chocolate, and then all that I'm doing is just getting my paintbrush, and then I'm just going to really kind of doing our paintwork, so to speak, because we've got our palette, and I'm really just watering that one down. And
I just committed the absolute rookie mistake that loads of us will have done this year, Craig, when you put way too much hand sanitizer on.
Or have you just
and
done
then
that?
It's up my arms. It's like I'm just trying everywhere to get hold
I
of it.
did see a bit of movement from behind the camera. I thought maybe you're just putting a bit of moisturiser or something on.
That's my exercise done for the day, that is, popping my hand sanitizer on.
So as you can see just now, and watch my hand movement, watch the way that I'm colouring this. It's nothing precise. I'm literally just laying the colour down. What I've done is I've just popped the water into the actual colour, and then I'm just really starting to pull that out.
Tall Chicky says, between your skills and your accent, she is mesmerised, Craig. That's why we call Craig the Scotty Hottie. He didn't get that name for nothing, did you, Craig?
Apparently not. Go away, just look down, just look down.
Oh dear, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it?
And do you know what it is as well?
All day today,
I was waiting
all
to
day
say.
tomorrow we're together. It's a whole weekend of me and Craig here on Crafters TV. And then we've got shows together next week as well.
We do indeed. For anyone that is kind of really looking forward to Debbie later on, sorry, but you've got me.
Absolutely.
We've done a bit of a
double
swap.
Craig, had a bit of a swap around. So yes, double Craig today, which is absolutely awesome. How could I not feel happy being here with you all? And the giggle show of Joe and Craig, says Tall Chicky as well. Mary Lee says that last card looks so beautiful. I might just have to have this set along with the butterfly one as well, or maybe the whole set. What I would say is you get the best value when you get the whole set, as always. Lots of you shopping away on the website at the moment. It's getting really busy out there. Remember, the whole collection, £77 and $98, $61.60. That becomes, if you, in the UK as a Club Inspired Platinum member, or $78.40 as a Platinum member in the US as well. And that means, doesn't it, Craig, then? So seeing as it's you doing the later show, stay there, guys, stay there.
Oh, you've spotted it, haven't you? You've spotted it. It's back. It's back, it's bigger, it's brighter, it's vibrant than ever.
I was going to slip it on, but I wouldn't get my right leg in it, to be fair. Ta-da! It's back! Look! Oh, I could just wear it as apparently, I look like some sort of foiling superhero. I look like a really bad villain in a pantomime, that's what I look like.
But tonight, yes, Matthew, I'm going to be...
It's
a game show here in the UK.
For anyone that is watching and thinking, I have no idea what is going on, that's Craig's foiling show. It's going to be a fabulous foiling show for Craft House later. And we've got Mariah joining us as well, the lovely Mariah. So can't wait for that. That's going to be all sorts of fun a little later as well. Hi, Joe and Craig. Gloria says, silly question time. If you don't get a good coverage the first time, could you stamp again with the platform that you just used, Craig?
So what you can do, however, this is where you would need to use the grids on your glass mat or on your stamping press to make sure that you're getting it in the right place. You know, if you ever do have trouble lining them up or getting a good enough ink, I do suggest, we don't have it on the show, I'm sure it'll be on the website, but if you do have any issues, I do suggest that you get our large stamping platform, 8x8 with the base. You get the magnetic discs with it. That just means that if you lay your colour down, if you get any areas that miss, you can then just re-ink ink, pop it straight over the top, and you're going to get it bang on every single time. The only issue that you'll sometimes have with these ones is, once I've stamped, and then I remove that, if I was to move that ever so slightly out the way, you know, there, like as I say, you can still use it, you just need to then just tape it down and just make sure that you're lining up with the grids at the side. So, you know, it is possible, just be a bit more secure when you're actually stamping.
Awesome, I hope that answers your question, Gloria. Maria says, love the aqua markers. I used them for the first time yesterday. They are so amazing. They really are. And don't forget now, with all of the colouring mediums that we bring you, there are dedicated Colour Me Happy shows which you can go back and watch at any time over on our website. So if you're looking at this and thinking, you know what, I would love to go for the aqua pens, but what I really need is a bit of a helping hand with them. All of that inspiration and education is there over on the website for you. So I go over to the Crafters TV area of our website and you'll see pretty much every show we've ever done there on the website for you to watch back, which is absolutely awesome. So there's loads of inspiration there for you. This is looking lovely, Craig.
So this is really a way, a design, a technique just to show you, as you'll have been watching, all that I've been doing is laying the colour on my glass mat and I've really been watering it down. It's if you are literally a water artist. We're getting that colour watered down and then I am just literally popping it onto my cardstock. Nothing precise, we're just laying that colour down. If you want to then start to water it out slightly, then again you can do just by pulling and diluting that water out. And then within all these areas here, you can see within this top bit here, you can probably just see, although I've gone light, I have gone over the lines. Again, don't worry, because this is when the dye is going to come into action. It's going to take away any of these little bits. But the good thing as well is by doing it this way, technique wise, is because it's rustic, it's organic. You know, if you do see any paint and lines out of the lines, it doesn't matter. And even this bit here, this whole bit in the middle here is going to be cut out. However, what I'm going to do is, when you see me doing stamping with our alcohol pens, you always see how I always tend to go around the edges with our grey pen, and this is no different. So within this one here, our essentials, I've just gone in with the slate, and again, I'm just laying that colour down. I'm wiping all that excess off because of time. You can then still come along with your spritz tool and create your backgrounds. But all that I'm doing is I'm really watering this down just to get this very, very light. And then what I'm still going to do is I'm just going to very quickly, nothing precise, I'm just going to go around the edges. We're just picking up the edges as if it was an alcohol pen and we're going round with one of our alcohol greys. And we're just going to go all the way around. So we're just working our way around. And you don't need to worry, you know, you might think, yeah, but Craig, some of that's going to be die cut. That's fine, because you will still get tiny little white lines that will then be eliminated because you've then just covered it with grey. So we'll just go into these bits here. You can then even start to cut away elements. There's a demo that we'll do later on where you can start to create your 3D scenes, so that what you can do is add extra detail, dimension and concept cards, but that we'll go over in a bit more detail later on. But just finishing off this area here, and again, any of these little bits, I'm just being really, really rough. I'm not being precise, getting that colour in. And then even if you wanted to, keeping in mind it's still going to be cut out, but if you want to then just pull any of that extra colour out. And then the good thing with this sort of style, what we're going to do, that is perfect from up above. So you can see how it's one of those things, the more further away you look, the more kind of artistic it looks. So what I'm going to do with this one just here is, I've just taken one of our layers. So on the show as well, you know, we do have these 12 by 12 colour cardstocks. Now the one I don't have in this pile is the one that I actually use. It's from our recent Nature Garden collection, which is the Winter Woodland.
Ah, this one just here.
That's it, yeah, the one that you've got, Joe. This is where I've taken the colour from these ones for.
Awesome, so you can see that just there. It's on the show, it's available for you, and it's this one here, which is awesome. It's a cardstock, 230 GSM, which is awesome. It's $19.99, $24.95. You want to grab that, 36 sheets in there as well, which is absolutely awesome, but perfect for this scene, Craig.
It is, it really is. So this is certainly, out of all of them that we've got in the show, that's the one that's going to work beautifully for all throughout the year. Maybe just pop the one with the blue in, which is the cool tones. That'll then going to meet and match for your winter time. But what I'm just going to do now that I've finished that one, I'm more than happy with that one. I can go in with a bit more blue if you wanted to make it a bit more deeper, but that's entirely up to yourself. So I've got some mats and layers here, so I'm just wanting to double check this one. So this one was 4.5 by 6.5, so I want to make this just one layer smaller. So it was 4.5, so I just need to trim this down to 4.25. So I'm literally just doing it by eye. So I'm just going all the way down. So I'm just trimming, so until I've got this at 4.25. So if I just work this one here, so I just trim that one, so I know that I've got it widthways, I've got it right. And then what I just do, I need to trim it this way. So that one, which is 6.5, so I need to be 6.25 for this one. So we're just going to trim all the way around, all the way down, and then I know I've then got that right matting layer. So it's just the case of what we're going to do, Joe, is we're going to layer it up. And yes, this could then be a card. However, we're going to layer it up slightly different in a moment, and we'll make a little gift.
Oh, I love the idea of a little gift. Gloria says, thank you so much for the wonderful answer. I feel so special. 2 superstars, talk to me. Oh, Gloria referred to us as superstars, Craig. I mean, we're not going to get, our egos are going to be so massive, we're not going to be able to get out of this room at the end of this show. Mary says, a great tip with the grey around the watercolour, wouldn't have thought of that since it's die cut, so thank you for that, Craig. Tracy Ross as well, just received all the aqua markers. She sat at home watching us, colour swatching them all. What a lovely way to spend your weekend. What are you doing for the rest of the weekend? Let me know in the comments. What are you up to? Obviously, I mean, you're going to keep it tuned to Crafters TV. We know that already. But what time do we... So on the East Coast, we finish at like, what, 1 p.m? So what are you all doing with the rest of your weekend? That's what I want to know. Probably a lot of films and staying at home, I'd imagine, because that's what we're all doing here in the UK. So yeah, but if you've got something exciting, lots of Zoom quizzes at the moment, Craig.
There's loads still going on, isn't it?
Zoom quizzes galore.
The Zoom quizzes seem to kind of just fall in the foot as of late, and then obviously lately with everything resurging, it's kicked off again.
Zoom bingo, Zoom drag bingo. There's all sorts going on all across. Zoom escape rooms are another thing apparently. Laura's been playing on lockdown.
I wanted to actually point this one out, Joe. You don't know if you maybe noticed how I actually just mat and layered that straight on, because I actually forgot to cut it first. But the point I wanted to make is, see how well that works. You don't have to use the die if you don't want to. That still equally works well without die cutting. But what I am just going to do is, we're going to pop this one over the top, and just like before, what I'm just going to do is I'm just making sure I've got none of the black lines. I keep saying black, it is flagstone, but I'm just making sure I am just going to stick my head kind of in the way, and then we're just going to line these ones up, and then once I'm happy with where they are, apologies Laura, I am away to stick my head right in the way. There we go, perfect. And then once I'm happy that is lined up, I'm just going to tape that in. And then I'm going to run this one through. And because I have gone through with the grey, now I'm just being careful because I have obviously popped some double-sided adhesive tape runner on the back. So then let's just re-line that one up, and we're going to press that into place. So that's what I was just about to say actually, is if you find that you get any white areas, maybe your dye doesn't match in the right place, because you have gone round with the grey, it's going to then just take away that sharpness of white. And I might think, white, sharp, if you're seeing that against a coloured image, sometimes the white can really stand out, whereas that grey is just going to pull it back slightly. So as this one then comes out, and hopefully our tape's not stuck it down too much.
Well, these will all go through the MIDI, the junior, will they, Craig?
Absolutely, depending on obviously the size of card blank you're making. So this one here, this is then going to go through our Gemini MIDI and Mini, no problem. Now what I'm doing is, as you can see, we've well and truly stuck that to our mat. So let's just be very, very careful, and I'm going to try and peel that one off. If you ever have that problem... What
have you got on the back of here, Craig?
Well, I've got some of our adhesive tape runner on the back, because I went to pop it on beforehand. If that ever happens to you, what you can do beforehand, before you go and run it through your die cut machine, you know the backing of our double-sided adhesive sheets,
Oh, yeah.
or our A4 foam pad sheets, pop that on the back, and then that will then stop it from actually sticking to your glass mat. But I'm just going to persevere, and I'm going to keep going. We're going to take a bit of a layer of our cardstock off, but I'm going to keep going because
I'm going to leave you with that for a second then, Craig. I'll just recap the details on this Woodland Friends paper pad, because it's got really busy on this all of a sudden. Remember what you're getting here, 36 different sheets in here. Now, it is a 230 GSM, so it is a real card weight, which is awesome, and it is textured, but it's almost like a very, very fine linen texture. It really is perfect to go with the creator cards that we've got for you. $19.99 if you're in the UK, $24.95 if you are in the US. How you getting on over there, Craig?
Yep, that is
awesome.
Me, all good to go. So I just, I didn't want to completely move out of the way because I want you to see what happens in case it happens to you. So I've managed just to peel all this off. It's taken a bit of layer of the cardstock. It's not taking away any of the image, so we can still absolutely use this. So then what we can do is go back to our design. So let's bring in our dotted tape runner for this one, because we've got a lot of these little die cut areas. So our dotted tape runner will be perfect for this one. So we're just going to go right up to the top here, and especially over all these tiny little bits, all these little bits just here, we're going to pick all them out, bringing into our white cardstock that we've got to the side of us just here. And once I've layered it up, this is when you're going to see how well that the colours actually come together. So I'm just going to pop that one on first to layer them up. And then what we can do is bring this one back in, and then again we're just going to line that one up into place, and then we're going to press. And then at this point here, if we can see, I'll probably go a bit close up for you to see, and now you'll be able to see exactly what I meant by having the grey all the way around. So can we see even all the way around? See how you're getting that touch of grey? And see, because I was now I'm not an artist, but you know how very quick and simple all that I just done with my colour was. I really went quickly all the way around, nothing precise, but then you've got all these greys. So in these little bits that haven't die cut, you've got the greys that pick it up. You can of course do different scene images on the back with your own stamps, but then all that we can do is, just to finish it off, let's do this matting layer. And then before I pop this layer on, I'm going to bring in a piece of twine. So this twine actually came from Sarah's nautical collection from last year. But of course, if you've got any other twine from back home, you could be using that. Could be ribbon if you wanted to. So I'm just going to pop just a strip of adhesive along the top, simply because I want it to hold my twine. So let's just pop that one up there. And then we're going to then just create a bit of a kind of like a hook, a hanging angle from the top. So here we go. So I'm just going to pop this one in to there. And then what I'm going to do is hold that in, and then all that we're going to do is just bend it back on itself, that you can see just there. Then that creates our hanging angle, and then I'm just going to, even that excess, I'm going to hold that in, and then I always go back over the top with an extra strip of adhesive just to hold it in. If you want to pop a little bit of call-out glue gel, then you can do. Let's bring this one in, and then what I'm also just going to do is, just before I stick this one down, a little bit, I've got one of these little 2021 calendars, you know, you can get offline. So I've just taken one of these ones and just done a bit of matting and layering using the same colour. So what we can just do is take this one off. If you have got our little diary sets, you know, our organiser, if you wanted to stamp and cut 12 separate months, then you can do. But of course you do get these little ones that do the whole year in one. And then also what I'm going to do is, let's just try and straighten this one up slightly. And I'm just going to try and make that just a bit more straighter to make it easier to line up. And then we're just going to sandwich that one between two. So if we then pop that one right the way across, and then keeping in mind we need to turn it on its back. And then peeling that one off, and then all that I need to do is I'm just going to just kind of position that roughly within the middle. If you want to tape it down to make it secure, you can. So let's pop that one there.
Maybe you need to do a calendar, the Craig Laird calendar, What do you think? What
Don't
do you guys
don't you
what
get
do you
everyone
guys
started on that.
I could think you could be a charming little elf in December. You could be Cupid in February. I don't know why Cupid stands like that. You could be the Easter Bunny. We could dress you up as the Easter. You could be a maypole in June. I think it'd be awesome, don't you guys? I think we could get Laura to do the photos. She'd be up for that.
She'd be good at the photos.
Yeah.
She would be
I think it's an awesome idea.
You know what I'm like, Joe, you know, it's very hard for me to say no, so I would probably end up doing it if I said yes. So then there we go. So all that I'm just doing is I'm just straightening that one just slightly, and then there we go. You can see we've got our 2021 calendar that we've got just here. All it would just do is just straighten that bottom one up slightly, but then it gives you the idea as well. So, you know, if you like to do your colouring, you don't have a lot of confidence, but you can really just go and water the colour down, use your glass mat as a palette, and then create that kind of effect.
Awesome. Lots of you talking about in the comments if you've decorated or not yet, ready for Christmas. I haven't. I'm going to be doing mine the first weekend in December. How about in the gallery? You guys got any decorations up yet? Both got trees up. Erin and Laura both got their trees up. Craig?
Oh yeah, I've had mine up for ages.
There you are.
Well,
So I'm the only one that hasn't got their tree up yet. It's because I'm getting a real one, so I don't want to get it too early.
And you've just moved out.
I don't want it to be sort of brown and like this by Christmas. So yeah, I'm going to get it next weekend. But lots of you talking in the comments about if you have decorated or not. This is my impression of a really sad Christmas tree. Let me know if you've decorated or not. Lots of you chatting about what you're doing with your weekends as well. Teresa's going to be making some Christmas cards this afternoon. Who has been a poorly organised crafter and has still got lots of Christmas cards left to do. I bet there's a few of you out there. You'll end up in the law court, Leanne, no doubt. Sue says, yay, my glitter markers just arrived, so I'll be swatching while I'm watching. I love that time, swatching while I'm watching. We need to use that more often. Tracy says, I'm getting all my Christmas cards addressed. Also going to have a play with my new watercolour stamps because they're here. Susie says, Christmas cards. I'm working on my CC Peekaboo Christmas characters. Caroline says, I'm crafting. Then, get this, Caroline is having a Mexican party tonight as it's her birthday. Oh, let us know what's on the menu, food and drink wise, Caroline.
Tequila.
Got to be tequila. And maybe margaritas. They're Mexican, aren't they? Maybe there's going to be some enchiladas, some burritos, some delicious, some tacos, some guacamole. Oh, can we come? Where are you, Caroline? I don't think we'll be able to get there in time, but if we could, maybe we could come along as well. We're not allowed, actually, so that's the end of that. Regina says, I'm doing Christmas cleaning in preparation for decorating. Is that just like cleaning, but you're dressed up, Regina? Is that how it works? You like dressed up, got a little Mrs. Claus outfit on. Tall Chicky says, we're having a Zoom tree trimming party with my kids. Should definitely be fun and interesting. Each of my kids will decorate along with me. What a lovely idea that is for people that can't be together. Right, enough about your plans at the weekend. I need to remind you of a few bits that are proving very busy. The watercolour card. It's a 9x12. It's a really awesome quality, this as well, guys. Spectrum Noir is always prized for its quality, and it's all about, especially with watercolour, it is about having the right paper for the job, because you don't really want it to drink in your watercolour and your water that you're laying down, obviously, but you also do want it to be able to be moved around. So this is the perfect pad to enable you to do that. We've had a picture in as well. Christine Mahoney sent us in this one, and it is this beautiful butterfly frame. Schmetterling is what you've got just here. Thank you for that, Christine. Beautifully coloured, Craig, wouldn't you say?
That is gorgeous. I love that one. I
Really,
love that. And I think the combination of the colours Christine's used as well, not only within the image, but obviously drawn in the mats and layers. I love it.
Really, really lovely. Getting very busy on the big collection, but what I want to do is I want to give you all of the individual details for all of these individual stamps and dies. So they are all available individually. We're going to start with Natural Beauty, which is this one here. Just like me, Erin keeps telling me today, which I'm all for. I love a compliment. This one here, $17.99 and $19.95. Any two of these for £30 or $35 as well, I will add. This one, just like Craig apparently, wild and free, as you can see here, with the stags as well. Are they... Am I right in thinking that male stags have horns and female stags don't? Or have I made that up? Aren't male deers called... Stags are male deers, aren't they? Yeah, so only the stags have horns. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. Right, let's move on to the Scenic Village, which is this one just here. I love this. Really reminds me of, summer's in the countryside. That's what it reminds me of. We've got a charming church for you as well. Not any old church. Oh no, it's charming, this one. And what I love is as well that you've, in here, a lot of these have been sort of like manipulated so they stick out a bit. Could you double cut some of these and add like traditional decoupage elements on if you wanted to, Craig?
I think you've been reading my mind, haven't you?
Ah!
Yeah. Not in this demo, but something very close just coming up in the next one.
I'll take that as a yes. This one here is the Flowers and Vines, which is really good. Lovely. This reminds me, does anyone remember that film, The Secret Garden?
Yes.
Love that film. This is what it reminds me.
Have you seen the new version?
No.
No, I've not either.
I remember seeing the old version when I was a child in the cinema. It was one of the first things I ever saw. This one here is Butterfly Frame, as you can see. Very, very popular individually, the Butterfly Frame. So do make sure you grab them. Now remember, if you want to go for the whole collection, that's how you get the best value. So go for the lots. I say, do you know what? I'll take the lot. £77 or $98. That's saving you $30.94 or $21.70. However, that's saving when you are a Club Inspire Platinum member. The saving goes up to £46 or $41, meaning you'll pay today $61.60 as a Club Inspire Platinum member in the UK, or $78.40 as a Club Inspire Platinum member in the US. Loads of you still chatting away with me. Caroline says lots of tequila. Yes, you were both invited, but Boris said no. Boris is our Prime Minister here in the UK. She says, I'm in Northwich as well, so not too far, actually. Would have been lovely, Craig, wouldn't it?
It really would have.
Marianne says, I'm going to a crochet group Zoom this morning. Sounds wonderful. Then working on the four ultimate organisers of Christmas gifts for my nieces, best friend, myself. Have not decorated yet. What are you crocheting in your Zoom class, Marianne? I would love to know. Janet says, yes, in most species, just the stags have antlers. In reindeer, though, they both do. There you go. Now you'll know. You'll always know.
Who needs David Attenborough when you've got us at Crafter's Companion?
Exactly. Right, what are you going to share with us next, Craig?
Rightio, so we're going to do a bit of heat embossing and we're going to make it into a box this time. So we're going to be using the butterfly frame. And we're also going to use the translucent clear watermark that we have got on the show as well. But equally, what you can then do, if you wanted to, was use any of the pigment ink pads that we've got and then your white embossing powder. So it's an alternative. But we do have the clear watermark on the show. So again, because we're going to be adding watercolour to it, aqua pens, still our watercolour card. So I have cut this to 6.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to score this on my lid side because we're going to create the lid. So we've done that all the way around. So also I've cut another one in black, as you can see just here, same size, I can't even remember what I said there, 6.5 by 8.5. But what I've done is I scored it 1 inch all the way around on the base side, which is this side. So again, all the way around, we're just finishing this one off. So we're just going to go all the way around. I specifically just wanted to do the lid part from scratch, just to show you. So there is our lid good to go. All that we need to do just shortly is just cut into the corners. So I'm just going to fold these ones over. I would usually burnish them, but for time I want to get straight into the stamping and die cutting. So this time let's do it slightly different, and then let's show you the die cutting first, and then we'll show you how you can stamp, just to show that you've got that different option if you so wish. So I'm just going to pop this one into the middle. And again, the reason I've done that size of cardstock is so that our die just fits just nicely into the middle. So then what I'm doing is, once I kind of line that up to where I want it to be, I'm going to pop our tape in. Now I'm popping our tape within the aperture bits that cut out, so that if it was to tear the card, it's not going to matter because you're not going to need that bit. And then I've just swapped over to some brand new clean plates, because I'll give that other one a clean when I go home. And we're just going to run it through. So as always, Joe, these are our wafer thin dies. So it's still the same configuration of your base cutting plate, and then it's your plastic magnetic and then top cutting plate. So that's
awesome.
that one.
Getting really busy on these. The busiest, the most popular way of getting hold of them is going for that whole collection, because you have the lot. And remember, this is the first time you've seen them on Crafters TV today, so your first chance to get your hands on these, which is awesome. Lots of people still talking about whether or not they've decorated or not, so do let me know in the comments, and also let me know what you're up to with your weekend. Do you know why I want to know what you're up to with your weekend? Just because I'm nosy, to be honest. I just like to know what everyone's up to, especially if you live somewhere that's a little bit, how can I say, a little bit less locked down than us. We can just live vicariously through you, if that's all right. Yeah,
a little less locked down.
Yeah, a little less locked down. Lots of chatter this week about what's going to happen at Christmas, Craig, in the press. So it looks like we might be able to see people at Christmas. Fingers crossed, Craig. Fingers crossed, eh? No, Craig doesn't want to see anyone, is what I'm getting from that, from that silence.
I am keeping my mouth shut on that one.
Are you? Okay, fair enough.
There we go. No, it'll be so good if we can see people at Christmas, isn't it?
It would be
That's what
lovely.
Christmas is all about.
Christmas is not the same on Zoom, is it?
No, it's not. Not that I've ever done Christmas on Zoom. Now, there we go. So we have die cut that one before stamping it. But also, you're going to be able to see with this one, these all just pop up. All these little wings die cut and just pop up so you can see there. So then what I'm just going to do is pop that one straight back down. And then what I'm just going to bring in my stamp. And then I'm just going to pop...
What's wrong, Craig?
Nothing.
Oh, no, nothing.
Just one of those occasions when you hear something in your ear.
Yeah. Mary
And then you get caught looking at you, Joe.
Talking about the calendar, Hottie Scotty all year long. How could it get better? Absolutely. 2021 is looking up, isn't it, Mary?
Taking the translucent clear.
Yeah.
Imagine waking up to my picture on your wall every day. No thanks. But what I'm just doing is bringing in my watermark ink pad. So exactly the same as been doing with the flagstone. It's just in this occasion, it is clear. And what I mean by that is you won't be able to see it. However, it stays nice and juicy and wet, which means you can then just go on top with your powders. I'm bringing in the black. So what I'm just doing is it's very symmetrical like the other ones. So I'm just going to then pop this one over the top. I'm even just going to bring in just a little bit of black underneath, just so it makes it just that little bit easier to line up. So then what I'm just doing is I'm just making sure I've got this one the right way, which is this way. And then once again, I'm just going to pop my head in the way, just so I can line this one straight over the top. And then I'm just looking out. So all that I'm just doing is I'm just following the outline of the stamp against the outline of the die cut. And if you do ever have any trouble with that, is always pop a darker shade of card underneath. For instance, like I've done here, is I've popped black, just makes it easier to see. And then I'm just going to stamp all the way around. So I'm just pressing, and I really am making sure that I get a good coverage, simply because you're not actually going to see where you've stamped. You might get a little bit of a shimmer, glisten coming through, but it will just be very, very subtle.
Awesome. There's a lot of love for your calendar online, Craig. It has to happen, I think. I just don't think we've got to give the people what they want, Craig. Marianne is saying as well, she's crocheting adorable puppy dog hats for her 3 grandnephews. She had 2 done already for the 2 and 1 year olds. She's working on the last one for another 1 year old. Then she's going to start a Star Wars BB-8 beanie for the 5 year old. We would love to see some pictures, please, Marianne, of what you and the rest of your Zoom class has been up to. So do pop us a picture, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk if you'd like to share that one. Rose asks, what is the plate combo for an intricate die? When and where do you add that metal shim, Craig? Which is a great question.
That's a really good question. I'm going to come back that into in a moment. I'm going to see if we have got a brand new watermark ink pad that's nice and juicy, because look at that one. It is dry. Well, it's not completely dried, but
no, we need.
So it still feels wet and sticky, but it's not actually transferring onto the cardstock. So while we get that one sorted, what was that question again? Sorry, Joe.
Plate combo for an intricate die. When and where to use the metal shim?
So metal shim, I usually only use the metal shim for acetate. I think where else I'd maybe use it, acetate, or for anything like your fabrics or that. But if it's
Craig,
really...
have a guess what I've got?
What, have you got one? Have you
indeed.
got one for me?
I've got one. It's all sealed. I'm going to open it up for you.
Fab.
I've got a translucent ink pad. I'm going to run it over to you. I'm going.
Fab.
Oh, Craig, you know what?
I'm going to stand
2 meters away, Craig, and throw this to you. There you go.
Hey,
I didn't take the wrapping off because you know about my well-documented journey with packaging, so I thought I'd leave that to you. But yes, there you go.
So I'm just taking a little bit of that excess off from beforehand. So yeah, so just to go back before, metal shim I usually only use for acetate or maybe something like fabrics. However, if you've got a real detailed die, you're maybe cutting something like your Centura Pearl and it's not quite catching the areas that you want, then just incorporate your metal shim.
Awesome.
So I'm just going to open this one up. So
this is why I left it to you, Craig. Yeah. I'd have been there for literally days trying to get that out of there.
As a crafter, we're just going to haul it open. So let's bring in our stamp once again, and then so you can see even the difference is this one here is well used, so it's nice and grey. So this is not how it looks, this is how it looks. Yours will get very, very dirty over time, but keep using it until it gets to the point it doesn't really get very sticky like we have in my occasion.
Craig, I've just been sent something very exciting, Craig. It's a surprise. Hopefully I'll get to show it to you. It's maybe a sneak peek into what Craig's calendar could look like next year is all I can say. So hopefully I'll show you that in a minute.
Do I really want to know?
You do indeed.
I do I?
Yes, I'll show you that in a moment. It's going to be a fun couple of days, Craig, you know. Oh, it really is. I can feel it. I can feel it in my waters. I really can.
Oh, I don't know whether I should be a bit nervous or anxious. So I'm just popping my head over the top again and I'm just lining that up. So we're just going back to square one like we had done before. And then we're just going to press. So we're going to get all of that all over our die cut design. So we're just going to bring that one in. So once I'm kind of happy with that one, we're going to release that one. And then what we're going to do is once again, we are going to bring in just some black embossing powder. Many that you'll find online, you'll find some on our website as well. So let's just sprinkle all of that. Now there's the difference, you'll be able to see this. So if I take and sprinkle all that black embossing powder, and then I'm just going to tap it my way. And again, let's just do it just a little bit more, some of these areas. So when you're doing this as well, don't tap too hard because then what could happen is it can start to knock off some of your embossing. So just start to just tip some of that off, then take a dry.
Where's that embossing powder from, Craig?
So this one is actually just one that we had on our website. It's actually Tonic's one.
Okay.
But then if you've got, it could be any of your other ones, it could be Cosmic Shimmers or, any of your other ones that you've got at home, you could be using. It's just a black one. Maybe you've got Chloe's Wow, she's got some embossing powders too.
Awesome.
So all that I'm just doing is I'm just taking away any of that excess powder. So then we can see what happens is instead of it being stamped in black, we've now embossed it with black. So we're then just going to come with our heat tool. So again, let's just pour that excess off. And then what we're going to do is bring in our heat tool and then we'll just start to heat that one just so we can melt the area. And then let's just just quickly, let's get rid of a few of these excess bits. Again, not tapping too hard because I don't want all of that powder to come off. And I've got my tool just here. So let's just get this up to temperature. So I say up to temperature, it doesn't take long at all. So I'm just putting it onto the high setting for this one. And then I'm just waiting maybe about 10 seconds or so, just making sure I can get that to as hot as I can. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it about 2 inches from above. And then I can see that as soon as it starts to melt, I'm then just going to move my tool. So we're just moving it, and then it's starting to melt all the other areas. So it goes from a very powdery black look to a very melted shimmer look to it. Just working all the way along.
I foolishly thought that you'd be able to do this with a hairdryer when I first started working in the craft industry, Craig.
What was that, sorry?
I foolishly thought that you'd be able to do this with a hairdryer when I first started working in craft. Turns out no. Also, Craig, sometimes you see them use like a little bag, don't you? Rub that over sometimes. What is that? What's that all about? We don't need to do it with this one, I'm guessing.
You can do if you want. That's an anti-static bag, so that would also help eliminate any of these little powdery bits all the way around. I usually use an anti-static bag for maybe something like acetate or vellum, but yeah, you can use it with your cardstock if you want.
Awesome, always good to know. Yes, I don't know if we've got any of the heat tools on the website. I don't think we do, you know. I was having a think about it. We don't.
So what that does now is instead of just a black stamped image, we've now got our blank heat embossed image. And the good thing with this one as well is it can be any way that you want. It could be vertical, horizontal, anything like so. So then what we're just going to do is let's bring in a few more of our aqua pens. And what this does as well is this gives you a raised guide, a raised image within this one just here. So I'm going to bring in, let's go for the primary set, and then maybe let's also go for the floral as well. So then what I'm going to do with this one is I'm actually going to start to add the colour into the stamped image, and then we're just going to pull the colour out. So let's go for a bit of the primary set, and we'll go for the aquamarine. And then once again, what I'm going to do is if I just bring in my paintbrush, in case anyone is relatively new or wondering, when I say a water brush is just exactly that. It's just a little brush that you can just pop some water in. So if you've got one of them at home, or alternatively, you can always check them out on the website, are sparkle pens as well. That works the same, except you've got sparkle in them. So what we can just do is, I'm just going to come into my butterfly, and then what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to bring in the colour. I'm even just going straight over onto that embossed black area, because all that will do, it will create the resist. And again, just with our water, and then I'm just going to pull all of that colour out. So we're just pulling that one out, so we've got that depth within the centre of the body of the Schmetterling.
Schmetterling!
And then we're just pulling it out just there. So we've got that nice selection of Schmetterlings.
It's almost time as well to be able to eat my favourite German Christmas stack.
I wondered what you were about to say there. I thought you were about to say butterflies.
No, I wouldn't eat a butterfly.
You're in the jungle or something.
I can't imagine they're very filling. It is almost time for Kartoffelpuffer, which I love. A Kartoffelpuffer. I talked about it last week. I think it's such a great word, don't you, Craig? It's basically like a fried potato dish. It's like kind of like a hash brown, and you either have sugar on it or you have applesauce on it. Yeah, it's delicious. Kartoffelpuffer. Look it up. Honestly, absolutely delicious. There is something about. I don't think it's a shame in this year there's no Christmas markets. Where I live in Manchester, we have one of the biggest Christmas markets outside of Germany. I think it was voted like the best Christmas market outside of Germany as well. It's awesome if you get to go, and there's all sorts of things like delicious hot wines and German sausages and then they have like Manchester food as well. So you can buy Yorkshire pudding wraps. Oh my word! So much yummy food. We're going to be cooking a lot of yummy food indoors, aren't we? Who's thought about like their Christmas shopping and what they're getting and where they're getting it from and all that sort of stuff? I bought some mulled wine kits the other day, Craig. It's like everything you need in a packet to make mulled wine. So you got like the preserved orange, all of the spices in there, the sugar. You just need to glug, 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 and then put the packet in and away you go. Warm it up. Oh, delicious.
I just actually going back on what you were saying about the Christmas market as well. No, I'm really sad as well, because this year I'd actually booked on the way to back home for Christmas. I'd booked a day in Edinburgh for the Christmas market there, because I've not been for a couple of years.
I haven't been to that one, but I hear it's awesome.
Oh, it is incredible. So it was on, and then they cancelled it, and then they put it back on again. But then just over the last couple of years, over the last couple of weeks, what they've done is they have cancelled it completely. So I won't be going to that this year, but I know we need to keep safe. So the main thing is,
maybe we could do a Zoom one. I'll get some German sausages. You get the mulled wine on the go, and we'll zoom into each other. We'll turn all the heating off and open all the windows so it's freezing cold. Get ourselves all wrapped up. That's what we need to do. Do you have in the US? Do you have like European markets at Christmas? No. Erin says no, they don't. Yes, you all need to come over at Christmas and come to our... would actually don't... There's me saying you need to come over to the UK and go to the German markets in the UK. Go to Germany. They go to the real thing. What am I thinking? Lots of you chatting about what your favourite one is as well. Tall Chicky says she loves the butterfly and the stag dies in this collection. Church is Mama Two's favourite. Molly loves the butterflies. Maria says she loves this die. Butterfly ones. Fred, he's loving the butterflies as well. The butterflies far and away your favourite. This is, I think, sometimes, Craig, you see the fact that it doesn't cut it out of the cardstock and you think, oh, maybe you'd think about that as a negative. But the fact that it only cuts in and not out is really a huge positive, isn't it? Because it gives you, of course, if you want to snip that out, it's not going to be any work at all for you to just go around with a pair of snips and remove that.
You're right, you're absolutely right. There is many occasion you'll get a die or that, whereas we actually give you the outside edge, and me, you know, being a crafter and thinking outwards, I actually think sometimes it's pointless having that outside edge, because it's one extra die that you've then got that you don't actually need. Because as you said, with this one here, or all of them, you don't have the outside cutting edge, but that enables you to then cut it yourself, any shape, any size that you want. So it's not kind of restraining you in any way. It just, if anything, it gives you that little bit more creativeness. So whether it's into a box or whether it is into a concept card of anything like that. But then what I'm just doing is I'm just doing a few more. So all that I've done is I've taken the aquamarine and I pulled it into the middle of the butterfly body and then just pulled the colour out. And then what I've done, still using the primary, taken the purple and I've done the opposite. So I've just put a light bit of colour towards the left hand side of the wing and I'm pulling the colour out. So again, just towards the outside of the wing, just dabbing a bit of colour and then we're just pulling it out. So it's just water, just pulling that one out, and you kind of just start to blend in the two colours together. So we're just going to then just blend them ones in, and then what you can do is let's just move over into the floral. Let's go for a bit of meadow, and then what we can do once again is we can then just pick in just into these little leaves. So all that I'm doing, just right in the base of the leaves, just adding that little bit of colour, and it's all about just pulling the colour out. So you're just going straight in with your water brush, paint brush, your sparkle pen, whatever you're using. Or, as you've seen me before, what you can always do is use your glass mat or your Spectrum Noir mat as a palette, picking up the colour, and then you're just going in, picking it all out. So we can see, if I then bring that a bit close up for you to see how it starts to come together.
Lovely.
And then you would just add a few swirls or colour to the swirls, and we can see that's how it looks. And then all that we're going to do is I've just already popped my double-sided adhesive all the way around the back here, and I've got just a bit of acetate. So it's just the case of bringing our adhesive off, and then we're just going to pop our acetate on just like so. Making sure I've only popped the adhesive round the edges, because if you remember, all these wings,
As Little Mix say, these wings were made to fly, Craig.
They were, yeah, they would say that. They would indeed. So there we go. We're going to bring that in. One of my favourite guild band groups.
Are you a Little Mix fan, Craig?
I am indeed.
You are indeed.
Don't ask me what they sing, but you know, I'm a big fan of them.
Oh, I see.
I am. They do good songs.
I went to see them in concert, and I was one of the only boys, and I would say the average age at the concert was about 9 years old. Lots of screaming like 7 and 8 year olds, and me just going for it down the front. It was great. I loved it. And that was the same when I went to see One Direction. Me and Lo and Love from Create and Craft went to see One Direction. She got us front row seats. We were the only adults in the entire block of seats.
Brilliant.
And I said to, they were that close, Craig. Literally, they were like just there. And I motioned to Harry Styles on more than one occasion, I love you. And he looked at me after about the fourth, fifth time and just went, I know. And then walked off. How rude, Craig.
That's so rude.
Harry Styles knows that I exist, Craig. That's all I'm going to say.
My very first concert years and years ago was the Spice Girls.
Oh, I love the Spice Girls. My first ever concert. Do you know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with the first concert I can remember, because my mum and dad took me to a couple of concerts when I was very, very young. I don't remember them at all, and they were really naff people as well, so I won't worry about that one. But the first one I can remember going to was a 2-day concert at Cardiff Castle, and it was Steps on day 1 and 5 on day 2. I screamed so much I couldn't talk on Monday.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And then a couple of years after that, I went and seen S Club 7. Absolutely loved them.
7.
Yeah.
Love them.
And then since then, it's been Celine Dion every time.
Celine all the way. Well, we're meant to be seeing Celine in April, Craig.
We
And
were.
I've got fingers. I'm hopeful that we're going to get there in April. You know, it's gonna happen. Do you know why, Craig? Because that's the power of love. That box looks absolutely beautiful. Let me just recap a few different items for you that are proving really busy on the show. So the white stamping card, which we've got at the moment, really awesome. It's called stamping card, but do you know what? It should just be called everything card, because it works for so many different things. It's great for construction if you want to use it for that. Of course, you can use it for stamping, as the name suggests. It's also great if you want to emboss it, you want to die cut it. It's really, really awesome, all round great cardstock. £9.99 and £14.99. Any four for £30 or £30 or $42, which is awesome. Now, if you're not going for the big bundle, maybe you know what? Maybe just the big bundle is a bit of a stretch for you, and you're thinking, do you know what? My budget doesn't quite stretch that far. You can go for them individually. So if you're thinking to yourself, do you know what? I was going to wait for Black Friday, or, you know, maybe I'm waiting for Christmas, but I could just do with a little bit of something just to give me a bit of inspiration. I don't think $17.99 or $19.95 is really going to break the bank. If you want to get a couple of them, you can get any two of them for £30 or $35, which is awesome. Don't forget as well, you'll be using your Club Inspire discount as well, which will give you anywhere from 5 to 20% off of the price you can see. Remember as well with Club Inspire, the price you pay, the price you see when you're logged in is the price that you will pay. These are different options for you. We've got Natural Beauty, which is this one here. We also have Wild and Free. Does anyone else want to burst into song? Born free as the wind blows.
I wasn't thinking that one.
What were you
Born
thinking?
to be wild.
Oh, okay. What's the Born Free one that I was singing? Any ideas, anyone? No?
Nope.
Okay, we'll move on. Born free as the wind blows. But I don't know, was it a TV show theme tune? I'm not sure. We've also got this one here, which is your Scenic Village, which is rather fabulous. We have got... a charming church. Not any old church. I know, a charming church. We've also got Flowers and Vines, which is gorgeous. Florals, always so incredibly popular when we bring them to you. Remember, you're getting the creator card die and you're getting the stamps as well. And you even get a little sentiment stamp in there as well. We're also going to give you the butterfly frame here too. Now, if you want the best value comes when you buy the whole collection together. Almost 30% you're saving here on this one. £77 if you're in the UK. Platinum members will get it for $61.60 in the UK. $98 in the US becomes $78.40 if you are a Club Inspire Platinum member in the US. That means Club Inspire Platinum members save £46 or $41, which is gorgeous if I do say so myself. Lots of you have been sending in pictures as well, which I love. Anna sent us this one in right here. We're using those gorgeous butterflies as we looked at a moment ago. Beautiful. They've also got the Wild and Free, Born to be Wild. So Christine sent us in another gorgeous project using that, which I think is absolutely awesome. I really, really love that. Rosalind. Rosalind sent in the crochet project that she's talking about. This is awesome. That is gorgeous. What is it, like a poncho? Yeah, how wonderful is that? And the lovely Marianne, she has sent us a picture. She obviously let us know she was doing Zoom classes. Check these out, Craig. How cute are they? Absolutely awesome there, and I love that. And we've also got some sample artwork of Craig's calendar next year as well. This is what he has planned for the month of December, apparently. I think it looks great, Craig. I love what you've done. I love the tree. Your hands look a little bit, I think we need to work on getting your hands the same sort of colour as your face though, a little bit pale on the hands. Maybe you need to take the fake tan down over the hands, Craig, but I think you look awesome.
It's a bit real life, isn't it? Yeah, you need to bring the fake tan down a bit. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect that one to come.
There you go.
That's exactly what I'm like.
Let me know, based on that picture alone, would you buy Craig's 2021 calendar? Just let me know in the comments. Kay says, you need to put fudge in that box for Joe, please, Craig. I'd love that. Oh, festive fudge. It's nearly that time, isn't it? Kay says, Elton John is her favourite concert. Kylie was meant to see Cher last April. Concert is still postponed. I was lucky. I got to see Cher in September last year here in the UK, which was awesome. Wendy says, my one and only concert was Cliff Richard at Stoke-on-Trent in the 1970s.
Oh, you can't have Christmas without a bit of Cliff. Christmas time. Anyway.
Cliff this year, talking of calendars, has decided that he will not be going topless in his calendar for the next year, Craig. Every year he appears, he's now in his 80s, he appears, without his shirt in his calendar, but for 2021 he says no. He says he's past the age. Yeah. There you go.
He was on something other week there and he looked quite good.
He was, yeah, I saw him on something recently as well.
For his age, I mean.
I think he's been doing some promo for his new calendar, Craig.
Oh,
he's going to have, he wants to make the most of it because the 2022 he's going to have competition. That's what I'm saying.
It's like the calendar version of Bublé at Christmas, isn't it? Michael Bublé starts to come out towards Christmas and then, what was his name? Cliff Richard comes out before New Year, to sell his calendar.
Yeah, he always comes out in November, it would seem, yes, to get his calendar sales kicking in. Right, Craig, you are leading me up a very murky garden path again today, and I am not going to stand for it, so I think we should do some more crafting before we get in any more trouble. What do you think?
Let's go for it. Let's go for the stag. So this one here, we're going to use wild and free. So this is possibly one of my favourites, but of course, being the stag, and I like to think from Scotland, this is why it's my favourite.
What's the connection between Scotland and the stag? Craig, do you know? Because I always think of stag. Craig's like, well, hello. Are there just a lot of them there? Have you been watching The Crown, Craig?
No.
On Netflix. A lot of that is set in Scotland. Where the royals live, where they have Christmas. Balmoral, is it?
Balmoral.
Yes, lots of it set up there, and there's a lot of stags in that show.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what the actual connection is with Scotland and stag, but yeah, there is quite a few of them.
Maybe that's just a good habitat for them, the Highlands and stuff.
Maybe. The pub at the end of my mum and stepdad's road is called The Stag, and it was the very first place that Billy Connolly ever done a stand-up comedy routine.
Oh, really? Is he from that part of the world then?
Well, he's from Scotland. I think it's more like Glasgow.
Okay.
I think it's around about Glasgow, yeah.
Don't really see much of Billy Connolly anymore, do you?
He's not well though, is he?
Is he not?
No, he's not well. I know, such a shame.
If you're watching, comedian. Billy, we hope you're doing well. I don't think he will be watching, but he might be.
Might be.
The Queen might be watching. You never know.
Yeah, I'll just never know. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to move to the rustic brown. So absolutely your flagstone would work really well, but again, with the deer, the stag, that sort of, woods, forest kind of look, we're going to go for the rustic brown. So I've just taken my white stamping, we've taken our white waterproof card, because we're still going to be using our aqua pens for this one. I was just taking a bit of that excess embossing powder from before off. So then, as always, we're just going to lightly press. You would lightly press it. I give it a good hammering. You're just wanting to make sure that you get that ink down. And although that is the rustic brown, you can still add your colour on. So we've been focusing on the sparkle, we've not. We've been focusing on the aqua pens, but there's nothing stopping you from using the sparkle pens or sparkle pots, anything like that. So we're just pressing just getting that image all the way around. And this is going to be a bit of a diorama card on this one here, but without using any foam pads for this one.
No foam pads?
No foam pads. Have we actually used any foam pads at all today?
You used a bit of foam tape, didn't you, earlier?
Did I?
I think you used foam tape in one of your... Did you not put the... With the box you did, was there not a bit of foam tape in there, or was it double-sided tape?
Double-sided tape, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
well, we've only got half an hour to go, and there's still no sign of the foam pads.
Not
Who
yet.
knows what's going on? Lorraine says, do the stamps fit on the small stamping platform? I almost said our Lorraine then, because my Scouse friend, a Scouser is someone that's from Liverpool, has got a sister called Lorraine, and he never refers to her as Lorraine. If people refer to their brothers and sisters as our, so it's our Lorraine. I want to call you our Lorraine. You could be our Lorraine here at Crafters TV, Lorraine. What do you think about that?
Could be.
Let me know.
Could be. But no, they don't. They don't fit onto the smaller one. You can see it's just slightly smaller than you need. So you do need the 6x6, or of course the 8x8, or as Joe was saying earlier on, any of your other stamping platforms.
Could you just use your Gemini Junior plate if it was nice and flat? If you didn't have a big enough platform for it.
Let's bring in my Gemini Junior plates. If you just like to use acrylic blocks, then as you know, I do always say quite a lot as well, anything that's going to stick to it. So we can just substitute our Gemini Junior plate for our stamping platform, and then we can just restamp that. We're just going to do it on another bit of card just to show you. But if you are fine when it comes to, obviously, you're all right with your hands, you don't have dexterity problems with that, and you like to use your stamping plates or that, then absolutely. It just goes to show, if you don't have a stamping platform, but you want to use something like an acrylic block, then why not use your Gemini Junior plates or your large Gemini as an acrylic block?
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Craig.
No problem. So there we go. So we're just going to bring this one back in. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to start to just colour wee bits of these in. What we're going to show you again just shortly is the fact is how you can snip into it. So what I'm doing is let's bring in our nature aqua pens, and let's bring in our essentials for this one. So let's go for the essentials, and let's go for probably the sepia for this one. So again, I'm just going to use my glass mat as a kind of like a palette, and I'm going to tell you what, I know what I'm doing, because we've been using our paintbrush and water all throughout. In case you've got a actual water brush at home, let's just use a water brush just instead, but it's just substituting that for a paintbrush. It's the same, just a different style. So then what I'm just going to do is just start to paint. So we can start to pull all that colour in. So we're starting to get that a wee bit of light towards the back, and then getting lighter as we come down. However, what we can then do is just go back in with a wee bit more of depth of the colour, and again we can start to just highlight. So these stamps have all got the little lines within the actual areas in the image, so it enables you to pop some definition by using deeper shades of the colour. So just picking that one out again. So we're just going to follow all these little tiny kind of like guidelines that it gives you for shadows, and then I'm just going to pull and pop that colour into place.
Awesome. Getting super busy on the big collection there now at the moment. That is the best way, of course, of getting the best value. Remember, you can get them all individually as well, should you wish. $17.99 or $19.95, depending on where you're shopping. There, you can get a couple of them, remember as well, 2 for £30 or $35 if you wish to get hold of them that way. But the best way to get the best value is to get the whole collection. And it's nice, isn't it, just to, you know you've got all of them, then you've got a full set, which is awesome. Club Inspire Platinum discount takes this down to $61.60 today in the UK, or $78.40 if you're in the US. A lot of you making your mind up now. As we get towards the end of the show in the UK, you're saving almost 30% before you put your Club Inspired discount on top of there as well. Really busy. Remember also that there's another show. The Scotty Hot is going to have his foiling shirt on later, and it's a craft house, and Mariah's going to be here as well. I hope it's not got some like Wi-Fi, I hope, because it's so shiny it doesn't like jam the Wi-Fi and we can't get hold of Mariah, Craig.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. I don't think it will. I'm sure it's shiny, but it's not that's not shiny enough to disrupt the Wi-Fi, let's
I
say.
wouldn't have thought so. No, it's not going to distract any of the signal or that from the Wi-Fi. No way.
And then tomorrow, do you want to know what we've got tomorrow?
What's that?
Hunky Dory Masterclass. Me and the Scotty Hottie will be back with you again, I believe, for that. And then the Second Chance Sunday coming up as well. So a busy weekend here for you on Crafters TV. Do you want to know what's coming up as well at the start of next week? Shall I let you know? I've got it all written down here on my phone. On the 23rd, which is Monday, myself and Craig, I've got a purse dies masterclass. Really looking forward to that. And then in the evening, I'll be up with Jan for the second show on Monday for Monday Makers, and we have got double-sided Christmas dies coming your way for that. Softer Side of Life, Black Friday special, oh yeah, Tuesday with myself and the lovely Bernie. I haven't worked with Bernie for ages. I'm so looking forward to that. And then I've got the launch party. Well, see, the thing is, with Softer Side, it's kind of snuck in a bit early. It's like a preview, really, because it shouldn't really... It's Light Bird. The deal's going to be as good as Birthday. Black Friday officially starts with myself and Sarah, and we'll be here with Launch Party for you, which is awesome. And then... also, we're going to have a Black Friday masterclass on Wednesday with the lovely Debbie Fisher. With Debbie Robinson, sorry. And then there's a cartload on a Wednesday. I know. We've moved cartload to Wednesday because it's a Black Friday special cartload on a Wednesday. Can I tell you something that's happening as well at the end of next week? A week tomorrow. Am I allowed? I'm waiting for clearance. US warehouse sale. I didn't tell you.
But do you know what I'm excited about as well?
What?
Now I know you guys across stateside, you're going to be celebrating Thanksgiving. If you are wanting a little bit from your break, I'm here on Thanksgiving. I get to be here on Crafters TV on Thanksgiving.
What day
I am
is
here. Do you want to know what show I'm on?
What is this coming Thursday?
This coming
it's Thanksgiving.
Thursday. Yes.
Oh, I'm off.
And you've got me all day for Thanksgiving. So, like I say, no offence, if you want to catch up, maybe the next day or that, I totally understand. But if you do want just a wee bit of a crafty break, then I'm going to be here with you on Thanksgiving, so it will be nice, even if you just pop your head in.
Maybe I should do some sort of special evening Thanksgiving dinner on that Thursday for myself then.
You
just
should.
meet at home. Maybe I could Zoom someone that's also on their own at Thanksgiving. Who knows?
Who knows?
I can have a look. I need to speak to Erin. She'll let me know what you cook and eat at Thanksgiving. So I'll see if it could... turkey and stuffing, just like Christmas dinner. Might give it a go. I could get... how about if I just get a turkey and stuffing sandwich from the Co-op and have that? Is that all right?
That's
I want to put it on a nice plate. Beautiful.
That's good. Maybe just pop it in the toaster as well, just crisping it up slightly. It'd be nice.
Packet sandwich in the toaster?
Well, like not the toasters in, like a toasty machine.
Toasty maker?
Yeah, not actually pop
great
it in
idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good.
Awesome idea, Craig. Loving
really
that.
Good. And then just to say as well, just in case you're wondering, in case you tune in tomorrow and it's Debbie that's here, it is Debbie that's going to be here. It's just to do with creating craft hours and that. So it might be me, it might be Debbie. Chances are it's going to be Debbie. Just in case you're wondering. We'll find out, later on. Just letting you know. It's going to be a surprise for you. It's going to be a surprise for me. So yeah, just as well, we can't get out and about because there'd be no drinking for me tonight. So there you go. It'll be a nice surprise as to me or Debbie. Now what I've just done here is I've just had to colour it in. I'm not going to keep colouring it in. I'm just going to then just carry on with a bit of the branches. But what I want to show you as well is see how by just using that kind of water-based technique, using my glass mat, I'm going to stay really, really still, but you see how you can start to go in, you can start to pull the colour in so you can get very lighter, but then you can go back in, just follow the actual shading lines that are already there as a guide for you and just add a little bit more depth of colour. And then what I'm going to do for this one is we're just going to lay this one over the top, but then we're going to snip into it, part of the reason why I've not coloured it all in. So as we have been doing before, what I'm just doing is so you can kind of see that, you can see where you've got the black lines or the rustic brown lines showing through. So I'm just going to place that and manoeuvre that just so that I don't see any of the lines popping through. So I'm just making sure I've got that in the right position. And then once I'm happy that I've not seen any of the lines, we're just going to tape that one on. And then we're going to run this one through. And again, just using our Gemini plate. This sort of size of card, this diorama card that we're making, you'd be able to do it with the Gemini Junior or the Gemini Midi, because it's obviously the smaller card stock that we're doing it. Still watercolour card because we've used the aqua pens.
Awesome. Fred wants to know if you're going to dress up as a turkey for Thanksgiving.
I don't need to dress up for that.
That's a no, Fred. I think that's a no. Call me in. Trust my intuition. I think that was a no.
I know. You imagine me trying to craft, while dressed as a turkey. Imagine that. That would be.
I was just about to say I can do a really good turkey impression, but I can't. I've got a good chicken impression though for you. That's not a turkey though, is it? Is that a turkey? That's a turkey!
That's a turkey!
There you go.
Do you know that?
Got there in the end.
Do you know that first sound that you made a moment ago? Anyone that's familiar from years ago, the early days of Neighbours, from Harold, the character Harold? It was like that gobbly sound that you just made. That sounded like him.
I'm going to have to Google turkey noises. I'll work on my impression in the break and hopefully I'll get it nailed for the Foil Press show. Give you something to look forward to this Saturday.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, think of the different noises that you can make. So here we've just done this one we've just coloured and just cut that one just there. Now what I'm going to do is, this is one where I've gone in with a lot more depth of the colour. So I used the same colours that I used on this one, but just really intensified it. So that's the one that we're going to use. And then this one here, this is going to show how you can actually snip and cut into them. So what I actually just want is, I just want these two deers. So what you can just do is just follow these lines, and then all that we're doing is we're just snipping away all of these excess bits. Now of course you wouldn't then come along and colour it beforehand and then snip it away. I've just obviously coloured it in just so that you could show you how you can start to colour the actual design.
When you said two deers there, all I could hear was Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Just going to colour these two deers.
If it's just now a Doubtfire deer.
I love Mrs. Doubtfire.
Love Mrs. Doubtfire.
So good.
I love it, yeah. Love her. Such a great film.
Loads of people still chatting away. Lots of excitement about Thanksgiving in the comments, which is awesome. Loads of people getting ready for that. Not long to go now. Who started the Christmas shopping? I've started in the gallery. How are you getting on? Erin, no. Laura started yesterday. Craig?
Well, I started like the other month.
Did you start? Are you like nearly done already?
I am pretty much done.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to start thinking about what I'm going to buy for people, I think. So at least when the shops open again, fingers crossed on the 3rd of December, I'll be able to get out there and grab what I need. It's going to be a bit of a scrum, isn't it, this year?
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
Molly says, Molly's very easily pleased, which I like. It's a good quality. Joe's turkey impression just made my weekend. If that's all it took. Did it make your weekend in the gallery? No, it didn't make their weekend. No, unfortunately
Made
not.
mine.
Made Craig's weekend.
Thank you, dear.
The Mrs. Doubtfire impressions, though, are making my weekend, Craig, and the team in the galleries as well.
I'll not say the other one.
I don't know what the other one is.
The other impression of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, I don't know the other one.
You'll
have to tell me after the show, Craig.
Yeah,
we'll definitely get in trouble.
It's an after show or an after 9 p.m. one.
Okay.
It's the scene with her handbag.
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen
Then, there we go. I'm just going to let you all just think about that one. You can go back and watch Mrs. Doubtfire later on tonight. So I've just started to trim away. So I've kept the stag there, and we've kept kind of like the grass towards the bottom, and then you just make it a wee bit neater. So we can see on this one I've done exactly the same, but what I've done is I've kept that tree trunk to the right hand side. So what then that does, all these layers that I've done are 5x7, so that when you layer that one up, you can see how it's going to then layer up on top of each other, but you've got that depth to it. Now this is where you can go along if you want and pop your foam pads, but what we're going to do is we're going to create our own little bit of dimension. So what I've also done, this is just a piece of our white smooth stamping card that Joe showed you, and I just used a couple of colours from our water reactive just to create our own background. So to create the actual sides of these ones, what I've just done is I've just taken a few bits of cardstock. So we've got these ones just here, and I've got one here just to show you as well. So I've taken a strip, again, just our white smooth stamping card, which is 1 inch, and it is by 5 inches. So 1 inch by 5. And then I'm just going to bring in my scoreboard, and then I'm just going to score at 1/4 of an inch each way. So I tend to find it easier if you've got a small strip. What I tend to do is at the 1/2 inch, and then I'll go back in and then just score at the 3/4 of an inch. I'll just turn it around, just it's easier to grip with my fingers here. Score at 3/4 of an inch as well. And then this is then going to create kind of like the mechanism to pop on the side of the cards. And then if I fold that one, so it's mounting and then kind of like valley fold. So I've got them already done with my adhesive tape on the sides. It was just to show you how you just do your mount and valley fold. So it's 1 inch by 5 inch, and then we've just scored at 1/4 of an inch on each one. So you get that kind of like bit of a W shape on there. So I've got these ones just here. And then what we're just going to do, if I move that one out the way, we're just going to bring these layers in just here, and then I'm just going to bring in my poke tool again, and we're just going to take the adhesive off. I've just used normal double-sided tape. You could then of course use your red liner tape if you want. And then all that I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to just line that one up to the left hand side, and we're going to pop that one on just there. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to fold that back, but then we're going to take our middle layer, which is here. You can unfold it if you need to make it a bit easier for yourself. And then we're just going to just match that and line that one up to the side of our card. And then we're going to press. So then that way, that then creates, if we just fold that one back into place. So that gives us our left-hand side that you can see there. So that's your mechanism that's replacing your foam pads. So we'll do exactly the same on the other side. So once again, let's just take that tape back on. Take it from the other side. You can use your wet glue if you want. If you find that easier, I always find it easier with tape, as you know by now. So let's fold that one over and try to do it so that doesn't get in your way, so you can see.
Background's gorgeous on this, Craig.
It's just is it ocean blue? I can't remember what colour I'd used again. I'll double check just in a moment. It's a blue and a purple that I used. So again, we're just going to overlap that one. So I'm just going to hold this top bit down just with my thumb, so you can see there. So I'm holding it with my thumb and my finger, and then I'm just going to overlap that base bit and press that into place. So then that is now going to be your first layer that you can see there. So you can see how we're looking into the actual backdrop. And then we're just going to take another two, and we're just going to do that one exactly the same as well. So for this one, I'm just going to pop the corner into there. I'm going to press, and then we're going to bring in our top layer. So if I then just fold that one back on itself, and then again I'm just holding that top bit down, and then I'm just going to bring in my next layer, and then all that I'm going to do is just press, just lining that one up to the top, hold that one in. So that's our final, well, second last one, and now all I need to do is just do my right hand side. So let's bring this one in. So peeling that off, I'm using our white stamping card throughout, but of course you could be using maybe some of the 12 by 12 texture card if you want. It's up to yourself. So again, let's just pop that one to the side, line that one up there, and then fold this one in. And then all that we're going to do is just take this last layer, we're just going to match it up to the bottom corner, and then we're going to press. And then there we can see as we start to look in, but if I tip that forward, we're getting that dimension of the card. But what I've just done, using just a bit of brown craft card, again 5 by 7, but I just cut a frame in the middle, and then I'm just going to use our tape runner to finish it off. So let's go all the way round, just bring that one in, and then like all of the different sets, you get some sentiments. So let's pop that one into place just to frame it. And then we're bringing in Happy Birthday, which we've got just here. So we can just pop.
Fred's asked if you could use the spine part of the Precious Memories book to create those side panels, Craig.
You absolutely can.
Great
you
idea.
can do indeed. Just make them up and then cut them to the size that you want. You know, because obviously I've done it 5x7, nothing stopping you making it bigger and larger if you want. It's up to yourself. But then if I tip it forward, so again, this is where you're getting the look through of the diorama effect. And then if I turn it that way, you can see, just pop that onto a card blank or leave it as it is if you wanted to. It's entirely up to yourself.
Awesome, that looks absolutely fantastic. Love that, Craig. Now, if you want to be creating those kind of backgrounds, then these aqua markers are going to be perfect for allowing you to do so. I'll run you through what you're getting in this particular collection. You are saving £32 almost, nearly $40 on this. You've got the essentials. Within there, you've got peach, spice, terracotta, tan chocolate, sepia, lime, olive, moss, slate, charcoal, and the black as well. This one here is your florals, which has got begonia, rose pink, blossom, marigold, jasmine, sunflower, meadow, bud green, leaf green, orchid, heather, and wildflower. You've then got the nature, which has got sunset, amber, chestnut, fawn, desert, not dessert. That was in a turmoil again I had there. Topaz, evergreen, sea green, kingfisher, peacock blue, marine, and boulder. And then finally, your primaries have scarlet, crimson, burgundy, orange, gold, yellow, aquamarine, teal, navy, purple, magenta, and red violet as well. £60 or $80. Club Inspired Platinum members, you'll be saving an extra £12 or $16 there with those. If you're going for those, you might need some extra trays in your life as well. If you want somewhere to store them, we've got the pen trays available to you. These are awesome. Loads of different options when it comes to popping these together, which is brilliant, and they are half price. So if you've been waiting for a great deal on these, then this is that deal. $9.99 or $12.47 if you wanted to go for those. I'm going to run you back through again these brand new creator card dies with corresponding stamps. Craig, am I right in thinking, I don't think it's not since I've been here, is this the first range of creator cards we've done with a coordinated stamp? I don't remember seeing any others, do you?
No, you're right as well. We've done larger images for stamps, we've done creator card dies, but we've never merged the two of them together where you can use them. But again, just don't think of them together. Use them separate if you want, nothing stopping you.
Absolutely. So you've got this gorgeous one here, which is your natural beauty. You've also got Wild and Free, which is this one just here with those gorgeous stags. You've then got this one here, which is your Scenic Village. We have got for you as well the Charming Church, which is this one here. I wouldn't say that necessarily had to be a church. I think it could be a little castle if you thought about how you use that.
Could be I'm a celeb.
Sorry?
Could be I'm a celeb. They're in the castle this year.
Celeb. Yeah, I haven't seen it this year.
Oh, have you not?
I haven't seen any of it. No. I have started watching Strictly Come Dancing though, which I've never normally been a fan of. Honestly, I feel like I feel like I want to go ballroom dancing, Craig. This one is your Flowers and Vines, which is awesome, really gorgeous. The florals always so popular, and you've also got this one just here, which is your butterfly frame. Strictly Come Dancing for our US viewers is basically Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, it's what we call it here. It's called Strictly Come Dancing here in the UK. Very, very busy on that big collection. Remember, the best way to get the best value is to go for all of them. $61.60 or $78.40 today if you're a Club Inspire Platinum member. 6 brand new designs in there. Remember, you're getting those large dies. I think if you just got the dies for this price would be great. I mean, considering their creator cards, our creator card dies alone go for anywhere between $14.99 and $24.99. So these are really good price point. Individually, £17.99, $19.95. Any two though for £30 or $35. So it doesn't matter what your budget is, there is a price point for everyone within this collection, which I really, really love. If you want to place an order right now, it's a great time to do so. Get yourself over to the website crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu and grab this. Be amongst the first crafters, certainly here in the UK, to get your hands on this. Remember as well, we are just under an hour away from the awesome foiling show, which is coming up next, which is our craft house show. We're going to be joined by a lovely crafter, Mariah, who I believe is in upstate New York, will be joining us for that show. Craig, what can we expect from your... Is it going to be like a foiling masterclass versus craft house? What can we expect?
We're going to do that, yeah. So we're going to show you how you can do a bit of one-on-one when it comes to the foil press. We'll show you some things that are recently new and also some things that you've maybe not seen for a while. However, John, do you think we could squeeze one more demo in with these ones here?
Well, you've got 4 minutes, I reckon. If you could,
go for it.
I reckon you could. I've got total faith in you, Craig.
What we're going to do is, we're not going to do any colour in this one. We're just going to incorporate a little bit of the snow. You know, you performed Sarah's glistening snowflake. So you could, of course, use glitter if you wanted to. But let's go straight in with the flagstone. So this is just the flagstone grey that we're using. And we're using the Scenic Village for this one. So what I've done is, I'm still using the watercolour card. However, although we're not using any aqua inks or that, what you can do is use your smooth card if you wanted to. So for this one, I have originally, well, I'm saying originally, it is 5 inches by 9 inches. And then what I've done is I've scored it an inch at each side. So really, the centre bit will be 5 by 7. So we're just going to stamp that one out. So if we just stamp all of these out in place, and then what I'm going to do is, even just that on its own, the stamp, isn't that incredible? Imagine all the different colourings that you could be doing. So let's take the die for this one, and we'll do the die cutting, and then you've got all the little windows and everything to go in place. So we're just going to tape it down. Again, I'm just overlaying, and I'm just making sure that I don't see any of my grey ink layers. Again, let's just make sure I've got it in the right place, line that one up, and then just make sure, have I stamped that straight? I have. There we go. Thought it was my eyes playing with me there, Joe. So there we go. Pop that one on, and then just actually tape it. Again, this sort of style or this sort of size will go through your Junior. So we're just going to run this one through the Gemini. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in some of our tacky glue, which we've got just here. If you have maybe like one of those tape pens, you know, the little fine tape pens or that. I know we tend to have one on our website from Hunky Dory. You could be using that. But all that we're going to do is bring this one out, and then what you're going to have a do, what you're going to do is you're going to have a look. Think of the villages, you know, any of these areas. Oh, it's like a yabba dabba do, isn't it?
Yabba dabba do.
So you're just now going to have a look and just see, where do you think the snow would kind of lay? So I'm just going to have a look at any of these grass areas, anything where the snow may start to just...
Maybe in the bottom of the windows, you know,
bottom of the windows,
in the window panes.
Along the top, even just like along the top. So it's just along the top of the houses, again, along the windows, maybe just within the brickwork. You could have it so it's just falling all the way down. Again, round the windows, you could be having it so it's falling within the branches. So you're going to keep on going, you're just going to have a look just to see where you want to pop any of the snow. And then we're just going to bring this one in. Let's just bring in a little bit of excess card, and then I'm just going to tip that on. This could be glitter if you want to use glitter instead. And I'm just going to lightly press with my hands, take that round, and then the reason I pop these full bits round is that could wrap around your card blank. I'm going to come close and hopefully, I know it's white on white, but I want you to hopefully see we're maybe getting all that texture from the snow. I'm not sure if it's quite coming off on the screen. But what you just need to imagine is where we've popped all of that glue, we've now got all that dimensional snow from Sarah's glistening snowflake collection.
Awesome, looks absolutely beautiful. We are out of time. Make sure you get your hands on that brand new collection. Craig, we've got an hour to get ourselves ready for that foiling craft house, which is going to be absolutely loads of fun. Lots of you loving the show as well. Rose says this show's just been the nicest thing for me, so thanks. You're welcome, Rose. We'll see you back here in an hour. Don't forget to check out your baskets and make sure you get your foil press out and on your counter ready for some awesome crafting in an hour's time. Massive thanks to Craig, massive thanks to you guys at home. We'll see you back here in an hour. Take care.
Bye.